Hey everyone, Bob here, KD4BMG HOA Ham. I like doing video reviews. I use multimeters in my ham radio way of life all the time. So when Kaiweets reached out to me and said, Bob, would you be interested in doing a review on the new KM201? I said, absolutely, send it on over. There are lots of ways to make sure our multimeters are working properly. We can get some electronic components and just make sure that we get the readings that we expect on the multimeter. We can go to a reference standard, and we'll do that on this multimeter. But let's start with some real-world measurements. I haven't charged this battery in quite some time. Let's get a voltage measurement on that. And then, one of my most common uses for a multimeter is continuity. Any idea what we have here? You haven't seen that on the channel yet, have you? You'll see it soon. G Gable Radio is about ready to drop this in their Amazon store. If you think you're interested in picking this up, well, I'll leave a link to the Kaiweets store as well as the Amazon store. Both of those will be affiliate links. I do a little bit better on the Kaiweets store. And of course, this has to make sense for you. So what is this intended for? Well, as usual, Kaiweets has a very thorough manual. It's got to be in multiple languages, being that thick. Yep, multiple languages. What we have here is a really small form factor multimeter, and it has the leads permanently attached. That's one of the major differences. Look at how small that is in the palm of my hand. This multimeter measures AC/DC voltage, resistance, continuity, frequency, phase, and most of that is done in the automatic mode. We're not going to use the batteries that come with it. We're going to use some rechargeables I'm reviewing for EBL. Don't buy these until I do my review on them because I'm not sure whether I'm ready to recommend them. I just started the review. That is a tiny screw. Let me get a different size screwdriver head and I'll be right back. Two things we like to see are brass inserts and captive screws. Let's see what we have here. We do not have a captive screw. I guess based on the cost of this multimeter, that wouldn't be a surprise. I don't know how difficult that would have been to do. We do have a brass insert, so that's helpful. We like to see that. And it looks like we need AAAs. And we have two AAAs here, recharged, all ready to go. And let's get those in the multimeter. Oh, turns on automatically. We're used to that. And let's find that non-captive screw, and hopefully it didn't roll off the workbench, and get this back in. Good to go. In addition to the thorough manual, a set of batteries, it also comes with this carry pouch to protect it when you put it in your pocket. You're protecting this, and you're also probably protecting your thighs from these pointy probes. The probes do fit in the back of the multimeter, but having it in this pouch will certainly help protect you. Let's go ahead and check our continuity here. Let's get rid of the caps on the ends of the probes, and all I want to do is go to the outside shield and the outside shield. And yes, we have continuity. Now inside radiator and inside radiator. And yes, we have continuity. So this new tripod, which I'm about to show you in a couple of days from G Gable, works like we expect it to work. You know what? One more thing we need to check. Let's check for continuity on inside radiator to outside shield. We certainly didn't want to hear anything, and we don't have any continuity. Okay, now we know we're good to go. You can see I'm still in auto mode, and let's go ahead and get a reading on my Bio-NO battery. Like I said, I haven't charged this in quite some time. And let's see what we have for volts. 13.4746. That's pretty good. It's been sitting in the drawer, ready for the next POTA activation. And it looks like it's absolutely ready to go. Way to go, Bio-NO. Let's get our backlight on here so that we can see it on my side camera. If you haven't seen this on the channel yet, Radioddity just sent this over to me recently. Let's get the DC turned on. I have not checked this yet. Let's see what our 12-volt side has. We are at 12.02 volts. On the AC side, let's see what we have on that outlet. And we're at 112.3. That's interesting. When I went from AC to DC, I get a different color on that screen. All right, that's interesting. Maybe that's basically giving you a danger, danger, warning, warning. Red, don't touch AC. Perhaps that's what we have here. We're at 113 volts. Those of you who've watched my videos on multimeters know I would say that a non-contact voltage meter is just an indicator. You never trust your life to one. You do some contact testing to check and see if there's voltage before you ever go work on anything. But this is a good indicator. Press the function button, it'll take you to non-contact voltage. Put it up next to the outlet, and it starts giving us an audible indicator, and you can see that it also gives us a visual indicator. It's high, it's flashing red. If we come back a little bit, it's going to go to green, a beep, and L for low. It is telling us indeed that we have voltage that we need to be cautious about. The next function is the live function. Press that function key once to go from non-contact voltage up to live. And we're going to see that indeed this outlet is live. It's high. We have voltage here. Be careful. Just for the fun of it, let's check voltage accuracy with our DMM Check Plus reference standard. And on AC voltage, we should be at 4998. And we are at 499. We're going to consider that a pass. Let's take a look at DC voltage. We should be at 5, and we're at 5.01. We're going to consider that a pass. What are my final thoughts on the KM201? Well, first of all, I'm a huge fan of Kaiweets because they make very cost-effective gear for the electronics hobbyist. You won't be taking this on your next stint on the International Space Station. That's not what these types of devices are for. They're meant for us hobbyists who need to take basic measurements in the field or at our workspace at the QTH. And that's exactly what we have here, is a highly portable, small form factor multimeter which performs basic measurement functions. So to me, that does exactly what it's intended to do. At its cost of $20 or $19.99 on Amazon, and right now $14.99 with the special that they have going, I think it's a compelling little piece of gear. Now, these are my leads on my other Kaiweets multimeters, and you can definitely see that there's a difference in the size of the wire gauge. So this is a little bit more high quality. I'm not saying that this is poor quality. I'm saying that it is smaller size wire gauge. It's meant to go with the form factor. It bends rather easily, so it's flexible as you're using it in the field. It's flexible as you're attaching it to the multimeter, which brings me to this step. Here's a cool little feature you can do with these attachments on the back that will hold your probe captive while you're testing. So it's not like you need to hold both probes in your hands. You can hold one probe captive in the back of the multimeter while you hold the multimeter in your hand and you're touching the other probe elsewhere on whatever you're testing. So that's a nice feature as well. This will be my first time putting this in the pouch, so we'll have that experience together. There's a molded ring on the outside of the probe that fits into the slot on the back, so it's very obvious where the probes go. And then let's just take this wire, bundle it up in the back. That's not too messy, and let's see how easily it fits into our pouch. I'm not hating that. All right. I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So I think this is going to get an HOA Ham 2 thumbs up. It's a basic multimeter. It's a low-cost multimeter. It's very small form factor. Can go in a backpack, in a small go bag, whenever you're going out to operate ham radio or whatever your electronics hobby is. I hope you found this helpful. I'll talk to you soon, friend. 73.